for presenting Denver, even though we're in Boulder. So Robert asked me to kind of lead this Q&A with him, and I'm so excited. I have so many things to ask you about. So let's start with your process. So I'm really interested in how you develop choreography. So who and what inspires you?
Okay, yeah, good question. It always changes, but I always have my mentors and my people I look up to, and there's definitely, I mean, I name always the same name, but it's definitely Billy Forsythe and Naveen. This was sort of the time when I was a young dancer. There was sort of still, you know, the major influence, you know. Yeah, so from these people, you know, I was, you know, doing the same thing what they did, you know, sort of copying and then finding your way along, you know, after many, many years, finding your way. And what was the other, what was the question?
Well, just your process.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, process is mostly similar. I mean, I always, I listen always to a lot of music. Music is a very important factor. Music and, but life in general. So if it's now politics or environment, it's a huge influence, definitely, I would say. I pick from, mostly I pick from daily life, what's happening in the world, what's happening around the world, and what people do, and how cruel people are, and how nice people are. Not mostly cruel, but also nice. So that's, I pick from this. This is definitely a big influence now in the storytelling, I would say. Yeah, totally. So also, I go through fashion, you know, even, I know fashion is cool, you know, so I have also a few people there. I always look what the ideas, what they have in that, you know, and also those people, what they contribute to, let's say, to the environment, or not eating meat and being vegan, vegetarian. So that's also a very important factor for me. Sort of, it's all part of it. So even the vegetable and everything comes all into the ideas of that. So, yeah.
Great. So this is the second of 3 pieces in a series, and I just wondered, how do you decide when a project's going to be a solo work or a group work?
Yeah. You know, this sometimes money, but not only. That's not. It's a bit of a joke, but it's no. I had for this project especially. I wanted to, after so many years, you know, being a dancer, being in this world of dance, you know, and right now, actually, the world of dance, how it is now, the ballet world, I don't see it as my world anymore. It's a very different world. I don't understand it, and I don't want to understand it. I have my world where I've been when I was young, and now it's different. So, so I wanted. So this project was basically telling a story, telling how I started and how melancholic I am, and how I. Yeah. So the first piece was sort of a bit shorter and a bit rougher. Also, where we performed it was also site-specific, like this piece. And this piece was a bit more in depth, so you could see I mimicked all these ballet movements and then maybe distorted a few movements. So that's basically how ballet was when I grew up, how I see ballet now, and how I want that ballet should look now. But not only in movement, also the whole up here in the head, it should be different, in my opinion, you know. So that's it should be, I don't know, softer and more bendable. I don't know, it's more flexibility in the head, you know. So yeah, and that was the idea for this. So the next project, the third of this 3 will be in Vienna. We do that. There is a choreographer choreographic institute, and they give you space, time, and money to develop a piece. And we already arranged that I want to do this solo piece, the third part, and we were very excited about it. So that's good. But this was a story to tell, you know, and because I love always to work with people, you know, with dancers and let them and more, you know, jump, turn.
We talked about this when I did a visit with you a few weeks ago about the work involved in an artwork, and I'm just curious how you stay disciplined in your practice and in your movement as well.
Yeah, that's I mean, this is one good thing as when you get trained in ballet, especially in ballet. Ballet dancers know that, you know, when you're young, discipline is number one. And when you're young and you learn discipline, it stays with you. So the discipline you carry on, you know. So, and I'm still in the business, and so it's very difficult, you know, especially a solo project to work on it. It's very difficult because you have to go in the studio alone, and sometimes obviously Jennifer comes with. But on the beginning, I'm sometimes alone, you know, listen to music and also then ask, you know, do you like this? What do you think of that and this? But still, you know, then with the steps on the start, it's sometimes you're in the studio and you come in the studio. You go on 5 minutes, you know. So it takes 6 minutes. Okay. So it can happen, you know, but then you have to, the discipline is you stay in the studio. I could also just go out and go shopping or whatever, you know. So I stay in the studio until something comes to my head, you know, and if nothing, I just start moving, you know. I put music on, or I put on YouTube or whatever, so I have a reflection, and I just start moving, you know, and then suddenly it goes like from nowhere, boing, and it's, what happened, you know, and so, but it's a discipline. I think it's with everything. If you're a painter, is also alone in the studio, discipline, the same thing, you know. Composer, probably a writer, you know, all these people. But I think it's the discipline. I think also how I grew up as a child. We were 3 boys, my poor mother, and I think we had to do everything. You know, we had to clean our shoes, we had to clean the dishes. So we had to do tasks. You know, we couldn't stand up now, clean the table, everything. You know, we had to clean the shoes with the toothbrush. You know, in between. You know, this was the old days where you had shoes longer than a year, you know. So, and I think this is the discipline also. I always have in the back, you know, oh, I have to do this, you know. And then also that my mother helped me to do this when I was a kid, you know. And so if I would slag now and let it hang, and then my mother died very young, and I would always think back, she helped me do that, and you do this now? No way. So I have to do it. Because of that, I have no choice. I'm doomed.
I doubt that, but I love how your choreography includes a lot of repetition and this kind of insight for the audience into the practice and rigor of dance. And so I wondered if you could just talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I learned this repetition. I'm also a big fan of Pina Bausch. I don't know if you know, Pina Bausch died a few years ago on cancer, lung cancer. Very quick, 2 weeks, and she died. And she was, I think Pina Bausch was the most extraordinary choreographer in our time. There is nobody better. There's not Billy Fawcett is not better, or Nadim is not better. No one you can ever make. Wayne McGregor, blah blah blah. The list goes on. It's Pina Bausch is god of dance, and she always will be. And she started in the 1970s with what you call now Tanztheater, German, Deutsches Tanztheater. And she was the first one. She was trained as a ballet dancer, and she was the first one starting speaking on stage, putting water on stage, running around, screaming, pulling hair, putting dresses on, putting high heel shoes on, you know. And this is a great influence, you know, and she did a lot in her pieces, in her older pieces. When you look at the later pieces she did before she died, they're wonderful, beautiful, but all the pieces, like I name names, you know, don't know, Nelken, or they're really old pieces, and there's a lot of repetition. And she did this, the repetition. She said she lived in Wuppertal, and Wuppertal in Germany is an ugly town. You know, it's very, it's middle class, it's hardworking people. It was coal industry, you know, in the 60s, hardworking people, and she wanted to be there. And she said every day when she took public transport, no cars, when she took the bus or the train, she looked at the people, and she always said like, oh, this, how sad the people standing there in the rain, in the dark. And so her pieces was about that. And the repetition is, we repeat everything in life. Everything. You do all of you, every day you do the same thing over and over again. And it's boring, huh? Over again. You do it until you drop dead, you do the same thing, same thing, same thing. And so I have to do that. I have to show you what you do. And also what we have to do in ballet. You have to go at ballet, as some ballet dancers are here know. Every day you have to do the same thing. You start when you're 8 years old until you're, whatever, 14, you do the same thing every day. Can you imagine? 7 days a week, every day the same. In different formats, but the technique, the class, the warm-up, the getting better is the same. So, and I love the repetition, to watch it. Also when I watch a Pina Bausch piece, it's fascinating. And I love to do it, and so there's a certain structure you have to sort of put together so that it works, that repetition. Otherwise, you know, you can do one step like you could. It's also cool, actually. But you have to, and so I like it. I like this. You know, sometimes when things become annoying, I like it. You know, when people go like, it's like you always have to be on the edge. You have to be on the edge, I have to be on the edge, we have to be on the edge. To know when we come down, to know where we go. So that's why I'm obsessed right now.
Yeah, for sure. It's really powerful because even though you're doing the same movements again and again, each time it's slightly different, and you'll throw in like a little surprise move. Yeah, and it's so perfect but jarring at the same time, which is really great. I'm wondering how the way you move is so fascinating and so different and just so unique that it almost feels like you're always so in control, but also it seems like something else is moving your body at the same time. And so how do you achieve that? It seems impossible.
I don't know what it is, but I think when you find when you start choreographing, and you know, there's certain choreographers, they're not as active, let's say, you know. And I'm a very active person also when I work with dancers, and I think so I learned my movements. I learned how to move my movements. You know, if you would give me now swan leg variations for that, I would break my legs. I couldn't go off the floor. I couldn't do that, you know, kaput. So I'm too old, you know, it wouldn't work. But I'm so familiar with my movements, you know, and I did a lot of. There's a movement called Gaga. That's from Pacheva Dance Company. So I do a lot of Gaga, and Gaga you can explore all your body, and this helped me so much to sort of find my balance and my flexibility. And I think also what, but the main thing is my choreography is sort of in my body. And like you said, you know, when I repeat something, and it's more as I go along, it's like when a jazz pianist or what, you know, Keith Jarrett, master, he's God in piano, Keith Jarrett. Improvisation, I think he's the best in the world, and it sort of it hits you, it sort of it grabs you. I don't know how to explain it, but it goes. It's like singers, jazz singers, or what you do this. You know what you do. You know, I go there and I do this. You know, and then I add a bit more, and then you you choose, you know, like your little boxes, like over there, and then you get into it, and then you get a little this, and you get a little this, or whatever, like you said, salt here, a bit pepper, you know, so you add a bit when you cook, you know. But I think it's just, like you said, it's because it's my choreography, so it's in my body, and the balance and everything. I think it's just, you know, we go a lot of hiking, you know, when you hike, and the balance and all this. I think that also helps, you know, as you get older. And also, you know, like I said, I train, I do gaga, hiking, and you know, sometimes yoga, things like that. But it's this keeping moving, you know, especially when you work on a solo project. You know, I have to, you know, every day I have to go over to expand more and more and more.
Well, you're covered in paint, so I would be remiss if I didn't ask about that. So could you tell us more about the paint and what you were thinking?
Yeah, I don't know actually. No, I do know. First it was, well, the paint sort of, you know, it's sort of, I go from here to the heart. So it's sort of, I go from my stomach, so it's sort of the open, you know, where everything happens, especially when you're female. This is very important, because it's all in there. It's extraordinary, you know, it's just there, you know. And we men, we're missing out on something, you know. So it's sort of this, from your core, where everything is in there, I reach out to my heart to, you know, this connection. And I think the white paint is sort of this, you know, it's like Buto dance, you know, when we have white paint, it's sort of this peaceful, but at the same time, it's sort of, for me, it's like peaceful or death, you know, this white, when you're dead, you get very white, and it's, you know, it's this, yeah, this expression.
Well, it's very tactile and it's very powerful. I'll just have one last question so we could open it up for the audience. But you've mentioned aging a few times, so I know, I mean, it's pretty incredible to have multiple decades in a dance career because it's so difficult on your body. So how have you maintained your longevity, and what do you have planned next?
Swanee. No. You could write about it. No, I'm joking. No, I think I'm, first of all, I'm lucky that I have a body like, you know, everybody's different. You know, some bodies, they prone to injuries. You can avoid it. You know, they have the tendons, the, you know, joints. But I was just lucky how I was built, you know, and I think I always kept moving. I never stopped. I mean, even if I quit ballet dancing, I think when I was mid-30s, I quit, you know, dancing with small leg Roman injuries and all that stuff. But I still kept moving, and I think it's just, you know, we walk a lot in the nature, and you know, when I teach choreography, I move, and it's, you know, you can feel it as you get older, but I have to say I feel pretty good. Knock on wood, you know, knees and back, it's all good. I had never, like, major surgery, but I think it's, yeah, how I feel. And also, I eat very healthy. We eat very healthy. I'm a vegan. I'm very proud that I'm a vegan, because I love animals. I have to say, you know, I mean, anybody can, you know, you can do what you want. But you know, there was, but also, because I don't know if you heard Joaquin Phoenix, when he said, in his speech, he said that we force the cows, you know, we don't force breed them, then they get a baby, and we take immediately that baby away, and then we take their milk away. You know, and when he said that, you know, it's, he said it better than me, but when he's an actor, but when he said it, I find it very touching, you know, and I think that's what it is, you know, it's just healthy overall, but you know, what everybody needs, you know, I'm just, I'm happy doing this, you know, and I think that's, you know, just taking care of your body, you know, not like crazy, like, careful, you know, I don't know, no, we do, you know, will still keep moving, doing still projects, you know, and we'll see how long I want, you know, how long we want, how long I want. But this is, like I said, this 3, and then we will, you know, I do again a group piece, or, you know, with other, collaborate with other dancers in this, for sure, you know.